Welcome to Employment Law This Week, and Happy New Year. I'm George Whipple. In the past year, we faced historic headwinds. 2020 tested our resilience, taxed our healthcare systems, and challenged our governments. COVID-19 forced us to think creatively and adapt quickly, and nowhere was that improvisation seen more clearly than in the workplace. The pandemic forced employers to rethink strategy, create new policies, and adjust to regulations that seemed to change every minute. That quick thinking and problem solving could transform the way we work forever. Today, we're looking at the year in review, highlighting some of the critical issues that have impacted employers over the year. Workplace safety was a major priority from the start of the pandemic, and return-to-work planning has been a moving target amid surges across the country.
Even though OSHA does not have specific regulations on point here, they are still holding employers to the safe and healthful workplace requirement under the General Duty Clause. An employer should bear this in mind when building a safety plan for return to work and for the duration of the pandemic.
Businesses have become reliant on recommendations from the CDC. We saw a shift in workplace planning when the agency expanded its definition of close contact this fall.
It's very important that employers and employees are vigilant in maintaining that 6 feet of distance at all times within the workplace, because brief encounters could certainly add up to 15 minutes over the course of the day.
The end of the year brought welcome news on the vaccine front, which raises important issues around ADA and EEOC compliance that employers will be grappling with in the new year. With the shifts in workplace policies and guidelines came new cybersecurity issues. What was a challenge in the office became a herculean effort with a remote workforce.
With cybersecurity as everyone's responsibility, when you extend essentially the office into homes, that requires everyone's effort. So it requires certainly HR, IT, compliance, and legal departments to assess what those risks are as a group.
Technology might bring workers together, but if the technology is often unreliable, that could cause difficulties. Regarding supervision, because it may be easier to work remotely without logging hours, it is important to ensure that all hours are counted, especially for non-exempt employees.
As employees begin to return to work, employers must also balance workplace safety with privacy concerns around personal information. We'll keep tracking this issue in the new year. At the beginning of the pandemic, some employers were forced to shut down, while others struggled to meet strong and urgent demand. This presented employers with a sudden imbalance in the labor market.
We see employers utilizing three models to link furloughed or underemployed workers with companies that need work. Employers may leverage technology platforms like modern job boards that will link employees in need of work with employers in need of workers. Using this model, employers directly hire the employees.
There's an uptick in work stoppages, walkouts, and employee-concerted activity as a result of the global pandemic, particularly amongst essential workers or workers who have had to return to work in the early phases of states reopening. Further, as issues of systemic racial, economic, and class bias become a greater focus in the media, employee-concerted requests are extending to demands for employers to recognize and address other societal issues which may permeate the workplace.
The NLRB will retain a Republican majority for at least 9 months, so we can expect the board's approach to labor issues to remain largely unchanged this year. As the virus spread, federal and state legislation required additional employee leave and benefits, like the paid COVID-19 leave established by Congress in the CARES Act. Employers also took it upon themselves to offer new benefits to help employees grappling with the pressures of the pandemic.
Employers should review their group health plan offerings and work with any vendors or insurance carriers to determine what services are being provided for mental health in their group health plan, especially for telemental health services, and then make any design changes or amendments as needed.
We'll be watching this space throughout 2021 to see which of these crisis measures become standard benefits in the future. Last year was a challenging one for all of us, and even though vaccines are here, along with new government assistance, the pandemic seems like it will be with us for a while. The hard work being done by employers, employees, and regulators now will shape our workplaces for years to come. Thanks to my colleagues for their thought leadership in these challenging times. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.